Welcome back to my YouTube channel, another thrilling and unbelievable episode where we explore the hidden treasures hiding in plain sight, the kind of everyday coins that you might glance at without a second thought but could secretly be worth life-changing sums of money. And today we're diving into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of coin collecting, the 2018 D1 coin. A Lincoln penny from the Denver Mint that has left experts and collectors completely speechless. After examples of this coin with rare and dramatic minting errors were discovered, some selling for as high as $7 million, transforming this modern coin into one of the most talked about rarities in the numismatic world. So buckle up and get ready to learn how a single 2018 D penny could be worth millions, what types of minting errors and mechanical anomalies make it so valuable, and how these tiny imperfections reveal a fascinating world of history, precision, and chance hidden behind something as simple as a penny. The 2018 D Lincoln cent, featuring the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, with the D Mint mark below the date denoting the Denver Mint, and the Union Shield design on the reverse introduced in 2010, may appear ordinary to the naked eye, yet within its copper-plated zinc surface lie mysteries that can turn it into a multi-million-dollar artifact. Billions of 2018 D pennies were produced, but among those, a few rare examples emerged with astonishing errors that escaped the Mint's strict quality controls, creating coins so rare and extraordinary that collectors consider them once-in-a-lifetime discoveries, and their value reflects that rarity. To understand why a 2018 D penny could be worth $7 million, we need to explore the world of minting errors, the mechanical and material mishaps that occur during the coin production process, turning a mass-produced object into a unique piece of numismatic history. One of the most striking errors found on certain 2018 D pennies is the double die error, a phenomenon that occurs when the design on the die, the metal stamp used to strike coins, is impressed more than once at slightly different angles, resulting in visible doubling of letters, numbers, and details. In the case of the 2018 D penny, this doubling can appear on the date, the word liberty, or the inscriptions In God We Trust and E Pluribus Unum, creating a mesmerizing shadow effect that's instantly recognizable under magnification and highly desirable to collectors. The stronger and more visible the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes, and some 2018 D examples with extremely sharp double dies have fetched jaw-dropping prices in private sales, with one such specimen certified by PCGS at Mint State 68 selling for millions due to its pristine condition and unmistakable doubling. But the magic of the 2018 D penny doesn't stop there, it's also famous for a series of other incredible minting anomalies that make certain examples unique. One of the most eye-catching is the off-center strike, where the planchet, the blank piece of metal that becomes the coin, wasn't perfectly aligned during striking, causing the design to be shifted noticeably toward one side, leaving a blank crescent of metal visible on the edge. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, and whether the date remains visible, the value can skyrocket dramatically. Minor off-centers might be worth a few $100s, but extreme off-centers with full dates can command tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands, especially when in mint condition. Then there are broad strike errors, which occur when the collar die, the part of the press that shapes the coin's rim, fails to hold the planchet properly during striking, allowing the metal to spread outward, producing a larger, flattened coin with distorted details and soft rims. These broad strike errors are visually stunning and immediately noticeable, making them favorites among collectors who love error coins for their uniqueness and eye appeal. Another incredibly valuable type of error is the wrong planchet strike, where the 2018 D penny was mistakenly struck on a blank meant for another denomination or even a foreign coin. For example, if a 2018 D penny was struck on a dime planchet, it would appear silver-colored, smaller, and lighter than normal, with incomplete designs due to the size difference between the planchets. Such coins are extremely rare and can easily sell for several $100,000 to millions depending on condition, especially when authenticated by top grading services. There are also reports of 2018 D pennies struck on older bronze planchets left over from previous production runs, a type of transitional error that's extraordinarily valuable because by 2018, all pennies were supposed to be copper-plated zinc, so any example struck on bronze would represent a true minting anomaly. Transitional errors like this are confirmed through precise weight measurements and metallurgical testing, and those that have been verified have fetched millions because they technically shouldn't exist. Another amazing variety among 2018 D pennies is the die cap error, which happens when a coin sticks to the die during striking and continues striking subsequent planchets, resulting in a coin with a deeply concave, cup-like shape that looks melted or distorted but is in fact an authentic mint error. These die caps can be dramatic in appearance and are highly sought after due to their extreme rarity. Similarly, there are die crack and cut errors, where parts of the die break during the minting process, leaving raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the coin's surface. Some of these cracks run across Lincoln's face, the lettering, or the shield design on the reverse, creating unique patterns that make each coin one of a kind. The larger the cut or die break, the more valuable the coin tends to be, especially when the break is located in a visually prominent area. Another fascinating error type is the misaligned die strike, where the obverse and reverse designs don't line up correctly when the coin is flipped over. These rotated die errors can vary in degree, and extreme rotations make coins highly collectible. Some 2018 D pennies have been found with rotated dies exceeding 90 degrees, a stunning visual anomaly that instantly catches attention. Then there are grease-filled die errors, which occur when minting grease or debris clogs the recesses of the die, causing parts of the coin's design to appear faint, incomplete, or missing entirely. A 2018 D penny missing letters from Liberty or parts of In God We Trust can be an exciting discovery for collectors, especially when in mint state condition. Each of these errors tells a story of mechanical chaos, of how the massive minting presses operating at lightning speed sometimes produce accidents that become treasures. The 2018 D penny also gained fame because of a rumored mule error, a coin accidentally struck with mismatched dies, where the obverse from one denomination is paired with the reverse of another. Although extremely rare, mule errors are among the most valuable of all coin errors, with some past examples from other years selling for millions, and if a confirmed 2018 D mule cent ever surfaces, it could easily break records. The appeal of the 2018 D penny doesn't lie solely in its error types but also in the sheer fascination with modern minting technology and how such errors could occur despite computerized systems and strict quality controls. Every rare error penny that escapes into circulation feels like a rebellion against perfection, a miracle of chance in a world of precision. The Denver Mint in 2018 struck billions of coins using high-speed Schuler presses capable of producing hundreds of coins per minute, yet even at that speed, a slight misfeed, mechanical vibration, or die deterioration could create a 1 in a billion error coin. These coins, once discovered, are sent to professional graders like PCGS, NGC, or NAX, which authenticate and encapsulate them in secure holders with labels describing the type of error and grade. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. An error coin in pristine, uncirculated condition with full red luster and sharp details can sell for exponentially more than one that has circulated. Some of the most valuable 2018 D pennies known are graded in the high mint state range, MS67 to MS69, showing nearly perfect surfaces and bright copper sheen, which makes them irresistible to collectors seeking the best of the best. Auctions for these coins often spark bidding wars, with prices climbing into the millions as wealthy collectors compete to own a piece of numismatic history. What makes the 2018 D penny so captivating is that it combines the allure of modern rarity with the accessibility of something as common as a penny. It proves that even coins minted in the billions can produce treasures if you know what to look for. Stories abound of people finding valuable error pennies in circulation, at coin shows, or in rolls from banks, fueling the hope that another undiscovered 2018 D error could still be out there waiting to be found. Next 2010 1-cent coin, everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the hidden world of rare and valuable coins that could be sitting right now in your pocket, your coin jar, or a forgotten drawer somewhere in your home, and today's story is one that's going to make you look at every single penny you come across with brand new eyes. Because we're talking about the incredible 2010 1-cent coin, a modern Lincoln penny that looks ordinary to most people but in reality has shocked collectors, experts, and even the US Mint because of the extraordinary and unbelievably valuable errors found on a few rare examples that have turned this small copper-colored coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure worth as much as $6 million. This is not some ancient coin or something centuries old, it's a penny minted just in 2010, from a time we all remember clearly, and yet, a few mistakes and rare minting errors have made some of these coins worth more than entire houses, luxury cars, or even small fortunes, and the reasons behind that value are as fascinating as the coin itself. When the U.S. Mint introduced the 2010 Lincoln Shield cent, it marked a new era for the penny's design, with the obverse continuing Victor David Brenner's historic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first used in 1909, and the reverse featuring the brand new Union Shield design representing national unity, with 13 vertical stripes bound together by a single horizontal bar and the inscription 1 cent placed prominently on it, symbolizing the preservation of the United States as one union. This design was meant to honor the nation's history and Lincoln's legacy, but what makes the 2010 penny truly unforgettable isn't just the symbolism, it's the fact that during its production, a small number of coins left the Denver and Philadelphia mints with serious minting mistakes, mechanical malfunctions, and metal composition anomalies that instantly transformed them into some of the most desirable modern rarities in American coinage. To understand why some 2010 pennies are worth millions, we have to look at how coins are made and how tiny imperfections during that process can make a huge difference. Each penny begins as a blank metal disc called a planchet, usually made from zinc coated with a thin layer of copper since 1982, and it's struck by powerful machines using steel dies engraved with the coin's design. The minting presses strike these blanks with enormous force, tens of tons of pressure per strike, imprinting the design onto both sides of the coin. Under normal conditions, every coin should look identical, but when something goes wrong during any step of this process, whether it's a misalignment, a damaged die, or a material mix-up, the result is an error coin, a one-of-a-kind piece that collectors crave because no two errors are ever exactly the same. Among the 2010 pennies, some of the most valuable examples are those with dramatic double die errors, where the die used to strike the coin was engraved twice at slightly different angles, causing visible doubling on the inscriptions, numbers, and design elements. In these cases, the date, 2010, the words, Liberty, and, In God We Trust, can appear with a shadow-like effect, as if printed twice, and the stronger the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors and grading experts at PCGS and NGC have confirmed that strong double die examples from 2010 are incredibly rare and can reach values in the hundreds of thousands even in circulated condition, but in perfect mint state with bright red luster and clear doubling, their price can soar into the millions. Imagine finding a small copper coin in your change that looks normal until you notice the date seems doubled. What looks like a small detail could actually be worth more than $6 million. But doubling isn't the only kind of error that can turn a 2010 penny into a priceless piece. Another famous type is the off-center strike, which happens when the planchet is not properly seated between the dies during the strike, causing the design to be imprinted off-center, leaving a blank crescent-shaped area on one side. The degree of the off-center strike determines how rare and valuable it is. Minor off-centers may only be worth a few $100s, but extreme ones where half or more of the design is missing and the date is still visible can fetch tens or even hundreds of thousands. The most extreme examples known for 2010 show more than 60% off-center striking, making them visually stunning and highly collectible. Another fascinating error found among 2010 pennies is the broad strike error, caused when the collar die that forms the coin's rim fails to engage during striking, allowing the metal to spread outward, creating a flattened, wider coin without the usual rim. These coins appear stretched and are instantly recognizable as mint errors. In mint state condition, such 2010 broad strikes are extremely valuable because they vividly display the mint's mechanical malfunction, frozen in metal. Then there's the die crack and die break family of errors, where the steel die used to strike the coins develops cracks over time, and molten metal from the planchet fills those cracks during striking, creating raised lines or blobs on the finished coin. Some of the 2010 D pennies have large die cracks across Lincoln's head or the reverse shield, making them unique. In cases where a part of the die breaks completely away, the resulting raised blob of metal is called a cud, and these cud errors are rare and often command huge premiums depending on size and location. A cud covering part of, In God We Trust, or the 1 cent inscription can make the coin instantly recognizable and potentially worth thousands or even millions if it's the only known example. Yet another incredible 2010 error is the die cap, which occurs when a coin gets stuck to the die and continues striking subsequent planchets, producing a coin with a distorted, domed shape resembling a bottle cap. The face of the coin looks deeply concave, and the reverse details often appear ghost-like. Die caps are among the most dramatic and collectible errors because their 3D shape is unlike anything else in coinage, and 2010 examples with strong die caps are considered priceless showpieces, especially if they retain mint luster. The 2010 penny is also known for a few examples struck on the wrong planchet, which is one of the rarest and most valuable types of minting error. A wrong planchet strike happens when a blank intended for another denomination, such as a dime or a foreign coin, accidentally enters the penny press. For example, a 2010 D penny struck on a dime planchet would appear smaller, lighter, and silver-colored because dime planchets are made of a copper-nickel alloy. The design would be incomplete due to the size difference, and such an error could easily sell for 6 figures or more. Even rarer are transitional or off-metal errors, 2010 pennies that were somehow struck on leftover bronze planchets from pre-1982 compositions. Since all modern cents are supposed to be zinc-based, a bronze 2010 cent would represent a major anomaly and would be worth millions, confirmed through precise weight testing and metallurgical analysis. There are also a few known 2010 shield cents with partial plating errors, where the copper coating did not adhere properly to the zinc core, leaving exposed silver-colored areas. These errors are striking in appearance, with uneven color patterns across the surface, and high-grade examples have fetched huge sums because they vividly show the manufacturing flaw. Rotated die errors are another variety collectors love. This happens when the obverse and reverse designs don't align properly when the coin is flipped. A perfect coin should flip from heads to tails with the designs directly upright, but in rotated die errors, the reverse might appear at a 45, 90, or even 180-degree angle relative to the obverse. A few 2010 D shield cents with dramatic rotated dies have been documented and are considered rare treasures because they reveal a serious setup issue in the minting press. There are also 2010 pennies with misaligned die strikes, where one side is slightly off-center while the other is normal, creating a subtle but fascinating visual shift that error specialists find irresistible. Another interesting error class found on 2010 pennies involves filled dies, where grease, dust, or debris accumulates in the recesses of the die, causing parts of the design to appear faint or missing entirely. Some 2010 cents are missing letters in Liberty or In God We Trust, or have faint portions of the shield design, and these grease-filled die errors, while less dramatic visually, are still highly collectible because they show a rare glimpse of how environmental contamination inside the minting presses can create unique results. When authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC, even minor grease-filled 2010 errors can command significant premiums, especially in uncirculated grades. Among the most astonishing stories surrounding the 2010 penny, however, are reports of possible mule errors, coins accidentally struck with mismatched dies, where the obverse of one denomination is paired. Last 2009 1-cent coin, another incredible and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins that can completely change your life overnight, coins that might look completely ordinary to most people but are secretly worth life-changing sums of money, and today we're uncovering the amazing story of the 2009 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin that many of us have seen, spent, or even ignored, but which in reality hides some of the most astonishing minting errors and production varieties in modern U.S. coinage history, with a few rare examples selling for as much as $5 million because of their extreme rarity, unique mistakes, and fascinating stories that make them priceless to collectors around the world. The 2009 penny holds a very special place in American history because it marked the 200th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln Cent series, which began in 1909, and to celebrate this historic milestone, the U.S. Mint released 4 different reverse designs, each depicting a different stage in Lincoln's life, making 2009 one of the most exciting and collectible years for penny lovers. The 4 designs included the birth and early childhood in Kentucky penny showing a log cabin, the formative years in Indiana penny showing young Lincoln reading while taking a break from rail splitting, the professional life in Illinois penny showing him standing in front of the Illinois State Capitol, and the presidency in Washington, D.C. penny showing the unfinished Capitol dome. Each design was struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and millions of these coins entered circulation, but among them, a few extremely rare examples with dramatic and eye-catching minting errors emerged, and those are the ones that today can be worth $5 million or more. Now you might be wondering how a 1-cent coin could ever reach such a mind-boggling value, but the answer lies in the fascinating world of minting errors, tiny, accidental flaws that occur during the coin's production process, turning an ordinary coin into a unique work of art that can never be reproduced. Every coin starts as a blank metal disc called a planchet, which gets struck between two engraved dies under tremendous pressure, imprinting the coin's design on both sides. Normally, this process is precise and uniform, but sometimes things go wrong. A planchet might be misfed, a die might shift or crack, a machine might malfunction, or a leftover blank from an older composition might accidentally slip into the press. When that happens, the resulting coins bear unique features like double strikes, off-center designs, missing elements, or even the wrong metal composition, and collectors go wild for these because they represent a physical record of human and mechanical error in an otherwise automated system. Among the 2009 pennies, some of the most valuable errors ever discovered include dramatic double die obverse where the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2009, appear double due to the die being impressed twice at slightly different angles. When you look closely at one of these double dies, you can see shadow-like doubling around the letters and numbers, which is immediately visible to the naked eye. The stronger and clearer the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes, and in the case of the 2009 Lincoln cents, several extremely bold double dies have been authenticated by grading services like PCGS and NGC, selling for astonishing sums. Another highly valuable type of error found on the 2009 pennies is the off-center strike, where the planchet wasn't properly centered during striking, causing the design to appear shifted to one side with a blank crescent of metal on the edge. Minor off-center strikes might not be worth much, but those with severe misalignment, especially where 50% or more of the design is missing yet the date remains visible, are incredibly rare and can sell for tens of thousands or even millions depending on the variety and condition. Then there are broad strike errors, which happen when the collar die that forms the coin's rim fails to engage during striking, allowing the metal to spread outward, creating a flattened, oversized coin with no raised rim. These broad strikes are visually stunning, and examples from 2009 with full mint luster can command huge premiums because they show the minting error in a dramatic way. Another captivating error from 2009 is the die crack and die break phenomenon, where overuse or damage to the minting dies causes cracks or missing chunks that result in raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface. Some 2009 pennies show large die cracks across Lincoln's face or on the log cabin and shield designs, while others have cuts, areas where a piece of the die broke off completely, leaving big raised blobs on the coin's rim or design. Each cut error is completely unique, and the larger and more pronounced it is, the more valuable the coin tends to be. Collectors love these because they're visually obvious and can easily be spotted even without magnification. Another incredibly valuable and eye-catching type of error found on 2009 cents is the die cap error, which occurs when a struck coin sticks to the die and continues striking subsequent planchets, resulting in a coin with a concave, bottle cap shape that looks almost melted or distorted. These die cap errors are extremely rare and dramatic, and 2009 examples with deep cupping and visible details are prized as masterpieces of minting chaos. There are also examples of 2009 pennies struck on the wrong planchet, one of the rarest and most desirable types of minting error. For instance, some 2009 pennies have been found struck on dime planchets, which are smaller and made of a copper-nickel alloy, resulting in silver-colored coins with incomplete designs because the dime planchet is smaller than a cent die. Others may have been struck on leftover blanks from previous years or foreign coin planchets, creating coins with unexpected color, weight, or size differences. These wrong planchet errors are extraordinarily rare and valuable, often fetching hundreds of thousands to millions when authenticated. There are even reports of 2009 pennies struck on bronze planchets, the composition used before 1982, making them transitional errors since by 2009, all pennies were supposed to be made of copper-plated zinc. A 2009 bronze cent would weigh about 3.11 grams instead of 2.5, and its color would be slightly darker and richer. Confirmed examples of such transitional errors from earlier years have sold for millions, so if a 2009 version exists and were to be discovered, it would almost certainly break records. Another error class that makes the 2009 penny special is the rotated die error, where the obverse and reverse designs are misaligned when the coin is flipped. Normally, the two sides should line up perfectly, but in a rotated die error, the reverse might appear turned at a 45, 90, or even 180-degree angle relative to the obverse. These are highly collectible because they visually demonstrate a mint setup mistake that somehow went undetected. Similarly, there are misaligned die strikes where the obverse is off-center but the reverse is normal, creating a striking appearance that draws collectors. Then there are grease-filled die errors, which occur when minting grease or debris clogs parts of the die, causing portions of the design to appear faint or missing. Some 2009 pennies are missing letters from Liberty, parts of In God We Trust, or even sections of the reverse design, and these can be fascinating to collectors who appreciate subtle and unusual minting quirks. Even though they're not as flashy as other errors, pristine grease-filled examples from 2009 can still sell for substantial sums. The 2009 penny also had a special significance because it was the first year in decades that the U.S. Mint struck cents with multiple reverse designs, and that process led to a few rare mule errors, coins struck with mismatched designs or dies. Though extremely rare, mule coins from any year are among the most valuable in existence, often selling for millions, and if a genuine 2009 Lincoln Mule were confirmed, it could easily rival or surpass that figure. All of these rare errors combined, the double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, cuds, die caps, wrong planchets, rotated dies, and mules, help explain how a single 2009 penny could become worth $5 million. But it's not just the type of error that determines value, condition plays a crucial role too. Coins graded in high mint state condition, those that have never been circulated and still retain their original bright copper-red luster, command far higher prices than those that show wear. Grading services like PCGS, NGC, and ANAX evaluate these coins carefully, assigning them grades from MS60 up to MS70, with the higher numbers indicating near-perfect preservation. A 2009 penny with a dramatic error and a top grade like MS67 or higher could easily fetch several $1 million at auction because it combines rarity, condition, and historical significance in one piece.